you go. Roll on your back.
Dang, Dominic, are you getting in there?
Yeah.
I feel like you just went through that growth spurt and you're not gonna fit.
Hey, you gotta roll, tuck this shoulder into here.
We're gonna have to get the jaws of life to pry you out. Just one left. Pesky bastard. Wait, what's here? Get to where the angle is.
This way.
Hey guys, yeah, little rough over here. I mean, it is what it is. Not what I expected. Probably the worst scenario. I got a few problems with this boat now, and they're fixable problems, but they are serious problems. These lids got to come off. We're gonna end up carpeting this whole thing anyways, just because the boat was kind of made for carpets. We could turf it, but I just don't know what it's really gonna do. Like, we can still turf it later anyways, but this 20 ounce, I think this is probably honestly our best bet. And really because of the molding and the weird things this is doing, where in the newer boats it makes sense to kind of turf it. But if we turf it, it's gonna stick way above this. I feel like it'll stick higher above it. It won't be great. Like, it won't be good. It's gonna start messing up things. The whole reason I never wanted to really do a bass boat before is because it's molded a certain way. It's very hard to modify. You have to bend to its will. And it's looking like we're gonna end up using 20 ounce, which is slightly thicker than this. And I don't know what this is. That is not 20 ounce. I think it's 15 ounce, like same carpet from Menards. The reason they did bunk carpet is because, for one, it was probably easily and cheap and readily available. And two, when you cut out the template, the thing about this stuff is at the edges, it'll start to fray. See, it's fraying right now. So if you don't tie that down, you can start pulling pieces of this off around the edges, and it looks like crap. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to end up going around and putting a decorative lining, and we'll have to probably make that out of aluminum and fab something up for that, so it lines it all the way around and holds in the edge of that 20 ounce. So the 20 ounce will definitely pull, especially in the little corner, like right in there. It'll do it. So we're gonna drape this a little bit off. I'm gonna have to order some more. I definitely need the front deck done. Just seems so big. It'll have to be like this, or like this. Probably like that. They'll be covering a lot of, well, if it's like that, then it's fine. But right now we're gonna go ahead and take all these screws off and take these lids off, because these are the first things gonna have to come over, and then we're gonna size up that and see if we can size that up and still have enough to carpet these lids. Oh. Yeah. That glue is pretty good. That glue is gonna be a problem, but we're ready for it. We have ways of getting it off. It's gotta come off. I can't have this on there. I hate bunk carpet. Not because it's just thin and provides really nothing for your feet other than like slight, fluffiness. It just sucks. Your lures stick to it. It's always a problem. Only use this if you could not get anything else. Like inside don't even use it inside the compartments. Use it for bunks. That's what it is. It's bunk carpet, use it for bunks. There's a lot of bootleggery in this boat, but it has also been in existence almost 20 years to date. So generally, on the course of that, it's been through multiple owners, and somewhere down the line, somebody does a recarpet or some kind of just like Frankenstein mod to kind of keep it going, because it's got different types of carpet. The carpet inside the compartments is better than the carpet on top of the deck, which makes me believe this was a redo. And then I talked to a friend of mine, Jeremy from 24/7 Boats, who just does strictly fiberglass boats. He's part of our tin can crew, and he says that that's actually a stock carpet job. That is the stock Nitro carpet job. They stuck the worst carpet they could stick out on the deck. They put, I think that's 15 ounce inside there, and they did some other things that I'm not too terribly happy with that we'll show you over the course of the video. The major goal is to get all that carpet and old glue off without messing up the deck, like that paint job. So we don't terribly mess it up. We want it still mostly intact, so we can just either returf or recarpet it when we decide what we're gonna do. And the only way I know how to do that is with an oscillating tool and a scraper blade. specifically a scraper blade. So we got a few blades from Harbor Freight. They dull. You have to resharpen them over time, but you can get right down to the paint without actually messing the paint up too much. It's pretty tough, robust paint. Like if you get too deep of an angle, then you'll start chewing into the paint. But we got most of that off without scraping the paint. It's pretty good stuff. I mean, this way. Yeah, we could just take a sanding wheel, and if you want to repaint the whole boat, then probably it was way easier just to get a sanding wheel or a wire wheel, and you can just tear all that off fairly quickly, but we just don't want to do that. We want to keep most of it intact. All right, this is exceptionally bad. Much worse than I had personally even known. For one, I thought this was like standard bunk carpet, like marine grade with the rubber backing. So the fact that it's not that, this is like the lowest of the low. You can't get any worse than this carpet. It is absolutely horrid. The whole deck smells like xylene. Xylene's the only reason I got even some of it off, that I had any sort of progress, or I would have never gotten that off. It would have taken me a million years to even get this off. I kind of got blown out at half the deck. I need way more xylene. Probably need 2 gallons of this stuff. Oh man, it smells. It also stinks really bad. Dang it. I don't know what to do about it. It's kind of stressing me out. I got all this crap everywhere. This is just, I did not expect this. This is always something. When you look at a job, you're like, all right, a few hours. Now we're looking at, I mean, tomorrow if I can get to Lowe's and come back, looking at possibly the day before I get the front deck off, and then got to worry about the back deck. Now we're just biding our time and playing with ourselves. I don't really know. And then we're also going to have to re-resin coat this stuff in. That's straight up, we cut right through the glass into the wood underneath the leather glass and expose that. So we'll be resining over that once we get all the rest of this stuff off. And then patching up and layering up any other thing out. We got to get under here. And, oh man, it smells. That smells like really bad right there. We got to get in there. And now take this boat outside. It's going to destroy my garage.
I'ma get it, you know I be on the way. Yeah. You know I be on the way. Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on the
way. So after talking to one of our crew members, Jeremy, pretty much everything on that boat is stock. I can't believe it. That is the cheapest of the cheapest bunk carpets. It's got no rubber backing. There is Bondo on the floor trying to cover gigantic cracks in the hull. And then there's other stuff going on, dry rot wood. So I'm pretty much gonna have to go in there and sand all that out and deal with what comes with having to sand fiberglass, which means I have to go get equipment and then the cloth, and then I have the resin for it. But the whole point is that it's a lot more extensive. There's a reason I don't do glass boats. I mean, look at my garage. Look at it. I don't want fiberglass dust on it for the next 5 years. I'm not prepped to do it. I don't have the station to do it. So this job specifically gonna have to be done outside, hopefully during like, I don't know, wind, so it just takes it away. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna park this. If I can find the trim liner for the carpet, that's the only thing that's keeping me from really carpeting is find the trim liner. I know you have to get it through a specific company. We're gonna start carrying it after this because it's just hard to find, but the trim liner specifically around 20 ounce. 20 ounce snagless carpet is awesome until you see why it's snagless. It means it's phrased at the ends. It doesn't hold together like bunk carpet. You need a liner over it, like around the edges. Normally you don't see that big problem when we do like boat decks for like aluminum boats because you're wrapping over and you're having the seam underlay underneath the deck. And then underneath the hatches, there's a seam underneath. You never see the fray. But there'll be a fray on this boat. Plus, it got all the stupid little wavy lines. And I don't know how, I can't run trim on those. Like, some of that stuff, I don't know what the freak to do. I did have hopes and aspirations to get this done in like a week or two. But when I rush things, it's never good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, the privilege I have of having you guys as my boss and my audience. And I'm just going to sit on this boat for a little bit until I know exactly what I'm going to do with it, and then we're going to push forward with it, because that's when we get the really good end products, where these last few boats we've done have been pretty good for what they are. I'm just going to kind of sit on it, and we're going to move on to something else that is probably a little bit more crucial that I should be getting on in priority anyways, because this is like my personal boat, which I'll eventually, it'll go to somebody else, but like I have another boat that I've wanted to do something else different, and we'll probably tackle that while I'm finishing this boat. Then we'll come back to it and finish it off, and then we'll start to possibly chew away at this massive horde of boats in my backyard. Just gotta get these few ones out of the way. These ones are an anomaly. This bass boat and the other boat in my backyard, they were not supposed to be here, but they're here. So we'll figure it out.